Hey guys and gals, I'm Shea Gunkel, Umpqua Feather Merchant's signature fly designer. I'm here tonight at Trouts Fly Fishing in Denver to break down the easy fly tying steps to my newest pattern, double shot Baetis. Beyond Umpqua, I'm proud to represent Renzetti Vices. Obviously Patagonia is near and dear to my heart. Love those guys down there. Sims, Sage, Winston, Pro Staff, Pro Team, Pro Tip, Public Figure, Entrepreneur, hashtag Dadbod, hashtag Semi-Pro, hashtag Amateur, hashtag Ad, hashtag, did I say Entrepreneur? Hashtag Model, hashtag Athlete. That's why we're here. Okay, this is like take 12. Might get out of here by Christmas. In the vise here, this Renzetti Traveler, I've got a Tiemco JB01, size 18, with 2mm tungsten beads on it. These are gunmetal. And since we're going with the Charlie Blackman color scheme, I use 70 denier purple thread on this guy. I could probably show you. It's ultra thread. The great thing about ultra thread for me is that I don't have to be as precise as I would with other threads, meaning it flares out into more of a band instead of a cord. So your thread wraps are going to create a smoother body. I would suggest doing that to all little stuff that you want it to be really smooth. Here I've got just my last pinch of black hen fibers. If I take them 90 degrees off the shank, I usually get a pretty square tail. That's what I'm going for. I'm gonna rip those against the grain, drop it, and drop that in just a little bit beyond the bend of the hook. And the reason for that is I'm gonna take it down all the way past where you normally would on a fly. It's gonna be pretty deep. Next, I've got some ultra wire. This is silver and it's extra small. The extra small is really important. You want to keep these flies really, really thin. The profile is what makes fish eat flies. So we're going to take that wire and the tailing material all the way down past the bend of this hook, right to the vise. I'm going to take my thread all the way back up to the index point. We've talked about the index point. We beat it up. It's that spot in between the barb and the shank, barb and the point. Edit that. I'll just palmer this up. Probably 4 or 5 wraps will get you good. To create segmentation in the body, which the wire is a pain in the butt. It's tougher than most. So you got to helicopter it out. Next, I've got some black holographic tencel. This is medium, I believe. Just gonna drop that in, facing towards me so that the tension, that torque of the thread pulls it into place. Next, I've got some black fluorofiber. I'm gonna use this for the wing material. Good stuff, expensive if you go through it like I do. So every little scrap counts. Square off the tips and put those right in that index point as well. I've got them in there a little bit longer, but all I have to do is pull them back. One more wrap. Now here's where it gets tricky. These beads are bouncing around up here. We want them to be the thorax of this fly. So I'm gonna bring one back. Okay, everybody see that? I'm gonna pull it back, wrap over it. And one of the key ingredients of this fly, making it look good, is creating that thread bump, that notch right up front to where your legs flare back and not off to the side. Over the top, again, with the flash to create that flashback, the wing case, over and back. 2 more to keep it there. I'm gonna flare this so that half of the fluorofiber ends up on your side, tie it in. Half of it ends up on my side, tie it in. Whip finish. I like 3, don't like 5. I don't trust even numbers. flash. Fluoro, about as long as the wing case there. And that, and minus the epoxy overcoat, that is your double shot Baetis. Guys and gals, this is where we do the epoxy coat finish. As far as durability goes, it's gonna make your flies last a lot longer. And all I tie is guide flies. They need to catch fish and last. And some of them are really cool and have bin appeal, and I just like them because they're pink. But when I get to the point where I'm gonna be epoxying everything, I do everything in stages. I load of beads like this to get them going. Before I hit the bench, I load them all into rows and rows like this, so that when I can sit down and actually have time to epoxy these flies, I'm not doing it one at a time. But since I'm here, and for your purpose, I've mixed some 5-minute epoxy, and I'm going to show you how I do that process right now, because it's the easiest way to absolutely ruin a perfectly tied fly. I'm just gonna get a little dab, and you've got a window here to where you can I can get about 18 of them in one mix. It just comes from doing it a billion times. I'm gonna drop just that little dot right on the wing case. I'm gonna bring it back towards the eye. The bead should go all the way to the end, and I'm just gonna run my bodkin all the way up so it's nice and smooth. It's not lumpy and bumpy or heavy on one side, too thin on the other. Let that set up for about an hour or maybe more. I don't know. I do it overnight, come back tomorrow and pop them out and send them to you. But I would definitely suggest that you do, a dozen at least at one time before you get too excited about doing it on the vise. It just saves time.